Hello, hello, friends and fellow gamers. Welcome to Let's Play Pokemon Spectrum, the tabletop campaign. This is session number 3. And once again, we are here with our companions. Riz is gracing us in the flesh this time.
More or less, yes.
More or less. So he apologizes he wasn't able to be here at least face to face with us last time, but it's good to have him here now. And as always, let us jump right into the warm-up question. So this is a little bit more of a slightly more detailed question than what I normally ask people at this time, because I think people from previous campaigns have known me to ask the question about which of these characters, after meeting all of the other characters for the first time, which one do you trust the most and which one do you trust the least? I would like for each of you to answer the question, in addition to which one do you trust the most and which one do you trust the least, what overall was your character's first impression of each of the other characters? And if your character hasn't formed an opinion of any of the other characters, that's perfectly fine.
Well, I actually did think about this because I was looking at previous questions. Yeah, Noir would trust the least probably Chase at the moment because he lies about his true name, and she read his thoughts and getting too close.
Yeah, don't you hate those characters that hide things from other people, that lie to everybody? Don't you just hate that?
Those characters suck.
Yeah, and also he kind of made fun of her. And he didn't really make fun. He kind of just was suspicious about her nickname, which kind of pushed a button. About the character she trusts the most, probably Cassie at this point, because she knows
Hopefully.
Cassie the most.
Her roommate.
Yeah, I mean, if she's living with you, I'm hoping she has some level of trust otherwise. Okay.
Yeah, seems dependable, hasn't lied to her to our knowledge. And yeah, she kind of sees a bit of herself in Cassie at the moment.
And then impressions of Tiffany and Molly, just out of curiosity. Any impressions?
Molly, she hasn't really seen Molly as a person yet. She kind of ooh, lead. Okay.
A lead.
Lead.
Okay.
It's she hasn't really processed Molly as a person yet. Whereas Tiffany, she likes Tiffany. Because she was nice to her and accepting of its abilities. So she's oh, well, this is fresh air.
It is difficult because just because we've only had 2 sessions, but I would probably say Ella at this point. Not Ella, I'm sorry. You're a wonderful person as a person. Noir. It would be Noir, and only because, I mean, at this point, he pretty much assumes that she can mind read, whether or not he'll pursue what that means. He's just going to leave it at that. But that was a red flag. So, and then trust the most, it would have to be Molly. Longest history with Molly. I don't know if Chase and Molly have had a huge time together as friends per se in the orphanage, but it's still someone that he believes he can understand even on that surface level, and he's okay with that. In terms of Tiffany, that's where it was hard. It was Molly or Tiffany. Tiffany is just she's out there with her kindness. There's nothing that he perceives as being screwy with her. She just is a good person. That's how he feels. And then for Cassie, although the player in me that doesn't trust Cassie the most, Chase hasn't been able to perceive anything. And so, especially because she sided with calling him Chase, despite knowing that was, Rocky, despite knowing that was a fake name. So, that was a bonus point for him.
All right.
Yeah.
Who's next?
I guess I'll go next.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think at this point, Molly probably trusts Cassie the most. I mean, they did survive a bomb blast together, so that is kind of a bonding thing. And in terms of who she trusts the least at the moment, it's probably Tiffany, because they've had absolutely no interaction as of this point. But just upon seeing Tiffany, I imagine Tiffany is wearing like kind of nice clothes, like she's kind of fashionable. That would actually rub Molly the wrong way, believe it or not. So I feel like the obvious answer would have been Chase, but he did rush into a burning building to save a lot of people. So that does win him some points in Molly's book. Molly's indifferent toward Noir at the moment. She knows she's a psychic. She knows she probably can read minds, but she hasn't done anything to me yet, so she's just indifferent right now.
It's just hard because she hasn't really talked to Molly or Cassandra that much, so they're there. I'm aware there are people. She's probably a little more warmer to Molly because, your Crobat cares enough about you to throw himself into fire. That says something about who you are and the connection you two have. Because if you're mean to your Pokemon, yay, I'm free! Burn!
Right.
Okay, so those two are already out. So for most, at least, that would leave. Actually, just for most, at least, Chase, Noir. Well, up until Chase ran into the burning building, she would have said most, but ran into burning building. But at the same time, he did save people. Conflict.
That is true.
And Noir is genuinely a nice person. When the homeless man came in, she helped him, where she was like, ugh, ew, no. Do not want near me. Probably just Chase for most right now, because she's talked to him the most.
That's true.
Least. Probably just gonna go Cassandra. Hasn't had the most interaction.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
My turn then, right? Okay. So for most, I think it would have to be Noir for the whole, not just the roommate thing, but the roommate in spite of the psychic thing. I mean, she's having to put a lot of trust in the fact that Noir is only telekinetic, because the telepathy would make her really uncomfortable. But Molly was really close to being the most trusted too, because even though, they just met, kind of thing, like she said, they did have that sort of bonding experience and all of that.
Yeah.
And she has that tie too from when she, first joined Team Rocket and, the whole runaway bit. So there's that. Where I guess that's not really trust, but she just feels more inclined, I guess, kind of maybe to trust her in order to make things better, sort of deal. And then for least trusted, this really depends on trust in like what sense we're talking about, but I will overall say Chase. She would trust him with her life at this point because it seems like he didn't have to do that, he didn't have to go in, and she witnessed firsthand him save a lot of people, including herself. But he obviously has a lot of secrets. He's, wanting to run off to the museum or whatever to, stop what's happening there. She caught that he lied about his name, and so she doesn't trust him in those regards. And then, like Tiffany, she, no interaction, and so doesn't really think one way or the other about her at this moment.
Okay. Cool. Thank you for all of your answers. All right. So let's get back into the thick of things once again. So we ended on a bit of a cliffhanger note. And if Shay doesn't mind, I'm actually not going to start with him. We're going to start with somebody else first. We'll get
Thank you.
We'll get to Shay.
I was not looking forward to the beginning of this.
Yes. No, we're gonna I'm trying to do things a little bit more chronologically. So we're actually going to start with Tiffany. So Tiffany, if I believe where we last saw you, you were still technically at the diner, I believe, or you're on your way out.
Yeah.
And I think that when I think Cassie and Noir had already left. I think Molly was going off too as well. So I think you of course sort of stayed behind. And Tiffany is actually, I'm sorry, Tiffany. Felicity is starting to lock up the shop. She's already flipped the sign closed so that, they're not serving anybody new. Keith Carmel, he's actually has done interviewing a lot of the people, and he's enjoying a cup of coffee at the counter, as well as it looks like roll of some sort, or a scone. We'll say it's like a scone of something. So he is in the room. And Tiffany, she is, I guess she approaches you, and she has like a dish towel or something that she's rubbing, or I'm sorry, that she's wiping her hands with, and she says, "Tiffany, baby, do you have a place to stay tonight? I know that you're here out of town, and it's
Yeah.
getting awfully late."
I have a hotel room.
She said, "All right." She says, "Well, I was just asking because if you needed a place to crash, or if you ever needed a place to crash, just letting you know that my place is
Aw.
available."
Thank you. He just over squeezes her hand.
She says, "Thank you, dear. I haven't had guests over at my place in quite some time, so just know that for the next time you're around.
All right.
I have a guest room, and ooh, I could show you my berry orchard."
At the sound of the word berry, he was playing with some silverware off on the side, but at the sound of the word berry, he goes, "Oh!" And he immediately comes over as fast as he possibly can. Tries to go in for a hug if she'll accept one.
She'll accept one. I think she's seen Tiffany enough, and I mean is one of Tiffany's best customers, so I think she's comfortable with that. And you know, when after she finishes giving you the hug, you know, she takes the rag, the dishcloth, and she just wipes it a little bit here.
And then he turns to Tiffany and he kind of tugs on her shirt, like, "Come on, let's go, let's go."
Oh, sweetie, we're not going to go today, but eventually, all right?
Oh.
There will be berries, I promise.
She says, "I apologize at all the craziness that's been happening. I know that you're new to this place, and I didn't want this to be a first impression. I swear to you, things like this do not happen in the city every day."
Yeah, that's good to know.
She says, "I do admit it was kind of scary, though, and so close to home, or work,
Yeah.
rather. Who do you think is responsible for this?" she asks, because she sort of leans in and whispers.
I honestly don't know. Isn't it usually Team Rocket that does these things? But it feels weird jumping to that conclusion.
They definitely are up on my list.
You've been working the crowd. What have you heard?
Keith turns around on the stool, and he says, "A lot of people are sort of pointing their fingers at Team Rocket. They definitely are the kind of people who would do something like this. They've done things like this in the past too. They definitely have had their share of explosions, and I really don't know. I'm trying to get to the bottom of it, though." He takes another sip of his coffee. At that point, Keith leaves, he leaves some cash on the table, and he gets up and he's starting to head out the door and says, "Well, I got to get working. These papers aren't going to write themselves, I guess."
All right. I have a costume I want to start working on tonight.
He says, "A costume? Are you working all the way out here too?"
I'm never not working most days. That's kind of sad when I say that out loud. I enjoy what I do.
"Well, I'm glad," he says. "How are things coming along with your other job hunt, your other pursuits?"
That's what I'm actually working right now. Again, it's mostly word of mouth, trying to get my image out there, trying to get people to remember me. Or actually see me as a consultant and not, "Oh yeah, that girl that used someone else's Pokemon and competed in our circuit." They're really not happy with me about that. Well,
Oh.
some aren't. Some honestly don't care. It's mostly the old guard. I will win them over.
You and I are sort of on the same boat. I mean, I'm a bit of a struggling reporter. It's really hard to compete with all of the media out there, especially since, people don't really read newspapers as much anymore. They sort of get their news not just from TV, but from internets and things like that.
Absolutely begins pushing phone into purse.
I feel like newspapers are a little bit of a dying breed. Although I will say, though, that those kids over there did have some interesting footage for me, though.
Oh,
Yeah, apparently that there's some heroic random strange guy they kept calling Captain Peace that was, I guess, trying to save some people from the burning building. You didn't by any chance see him, did you?
explosion, eyes her more on the fire. She is trying to act like I am not lying about this.
Hmm. Well, I was hoping maybe I could get an exclusive interview with him. I mean, it sounded like what he did was, I think thanks to him, he would definitely help save a whole bunch of people that would have died otherwise.
Well, things like that'll go viral. Sure, it'll turn up eventually.
Well, all right, Tiffany. Well, it was good to see you.
You too. Good luck with your article.
Thank you, and good luck with your pursuits too.
Aw,
Keep at it.
I always do.
You will wave goodbye.
Have a good day, you, or good night. We'll talk to you later. And you will leave and head to your hotel. Meanwhile, Molly, what are you doing with Bullet? What are you and Bullet doing after you leave the diner?
She's gonna try to take him to the nearest Poke Center.
It's probably a very good idea.
Yeah.
On your way to the hospital, is there any interaction between Molly and Bullet? Especially considering how Bullet's been heroically damaged.
I was actually wondering, like, is he flying himself to the hospital right now? Or was he like Pokeball or anything?
I think if he wants to be inside the Pokeball, he can go in there. But if not, they're probably just walking to the hospital. Yeah.
She's not making him like fly her.
Yeah.
I think
no.
I think you're able to walk. Flying might be difficult, but I think you're able to walk with your wings.
Yeah.
Cool.
And also, I imagine that even though Molly didn't get burned or she wasn't in the gas for very long, I imagine she did get kind of banged up when she fell down. So I think at this point, the bruising and the soreness is starting to kick in. So she's kind of got a limp right now. Not a big one, but a little bit.
Okay.
She'll look at Bullet and she'll say, "Look, I'm not complaining. You've got it worse. You got it way worse than I did, okay?"
So by this point, yes, the exhilaration of everything and of, like seeing her, good and well. He's still happy for sure, and it's evident by his smile, but he obviously is facing some exhaustion at this point too.
So Molly will get one of the bottles of water that she still has, and she'll kind of toss some on him as they're walking. I know it's not much, but it'll help, okay?
Now and then he'll give a lighthearted just nudge against her side.
Ow, careful.
You get over to the Poke Center. The nurse Joy there, she tries to give you it looks like she's very occupied and she looks very frazzled and very exhausted. And she barely looks up at you when she says, "Yes, ma'am, how can I help you? Welcome to the Pokemon Center."
Molly will look at the nurse and she'll hold up the bottle of water, which still has maybe about an inch or so of water left, and she'll say, "First of all, I think you need some of this."
Oh, she perks up a little bit and she, takes the bottle and says, "Thank you. It's been a long, long night." And she takes a little bit of a sip. "I don't suppose you have anything else to go into this." "You know what? Never mind." Because she was doing sort of a little bit of this. "You know what? Never mind. What can I do for you? Is your Pokemon hurt?"
Actually, this poor thing was outside during the fire, and then he willingly flew into it, trying to get to me."
At that point, he will sheepishly look downward.
She said, "Really? Aren't you heroic?"
Yeah, he's my big superhero.
She says, "Well, I'm glad to see that that you both survived to tell the tale. I heard some really horrific things went on earlier today."
Yeah, as you can see, it wasn't pretty, but you know what? We did make it out, and I think we're lucky for that.
"All right," she says, "well, Well then, let's get him into his Pokeball, and we'll see what we can do to patch him up.
Okay, so she picks up the ball and she says, "Come on, let's go in."
Well, before he submits to that, she'll give Molly one nice long lick.
Oh.
Well.
It's just her hair kind of gets up like this. Okay. All right. All right. Come on, get in.
Okay. He goes into the Pokeball, and Nurse Joy will take it, and she says, "Are you going to be staying here at the Poke Center? Or are you going to come back tomorrow to see how he's doing?"
Well, I can't really go anywhere. Else tonight. He's usually my ride, so I guess I'll stay here tonight.
She says, "Okay, well, if you want to, you can go over to the waiting room over there. We don't have much, just a few vending machines, but the cafeteria will open tomorrow morning at 6 a.m.
Okay, and how much is the cafeteria?
How much is the Well, the price range is, you can probably get a muffin or something, or a piece of fruit for about 1 or 2 Pokebucks. I think that their breakfast burritos are out tomorrow. Those are about 5 Pokebucks.
How big is the breakfast burrito?
She looks very surprised at this question, as if like nobody's really been asking this many questions about the cafeteria food. She says, "Oh, I would say about yay big," she says, and I would say it was like Taco Bell burrito size.
Okay.
You know, it's not. We're not talking, Chi-Chi's or I don't even know if Chi-Chi's are around. What's another Mexican restaurant? Any other like major Mexican restaurant?
Like Chipotle.
Yeah, it's not a Chipotle size. It's more Taco Bell size.
Okay, so Molly's kind of calculating in her head, like, I'll look at the vending machines first before I decide.
This relatively frumpy woman behind you says, she says very impatiently, "Miss, are you done?"
I'm sorry, ma'am. It's just I'm in money mode right now. I need to get everything out in the open, okay? And then I'll rearrange it.
Well, my Pokemon is dying here, so can you please take your money and matter somewhere else?
All right. So Molly will shuffle off, still walking and calculating in her head what would be the best.
While you're walking and calculating, Molly, you hear a familiar voice behind you call out, "Molly? Molly Moon?" And you turn around and you see a girl with brown hair, wearing, I guess, you've never seen her outside of her orange jumpsuit before.
Mm-hmm.
So she's actually wearing civilian clothing, and this is Madison.
Mm-hmm.
Fancy running into you here. I haven't seen you since they let you out.
Oh, Madison. And Molly kind of, she's holding on to her side a little bit. Oh, Madison, what brings you here?
Madison, the other thing that you notice is that right next to her is this levitating laptop. And the levitating laptop has these 2 eyeballs in front of it. You recognize this as her Rotom, who is currently inside of her laptop. And she says, "Believe it or not, I got a job here."
You got a job here? How did that happen?
Yeah, I'm the new tech. Well, they let me go about a couple months after they let you out. I did a few jobs here and there. Didn't really manage to keep any of them for very long. But then I found out that the people here needed a computer tech. And I thought, hey, I'm pretty decent with computers. I think I could do that. So my first day was about a week ago.
Wow, good for you. So no more forgeries or anything?
She says, "Shh, no, nothing like that. I'm trying to turn a new leaf now. For the most part. But yeah, as much as I can, trying to make an honest living. How about you? Wow, you look like you've been better, she says as she notices you favoring your side.
Well, the short story is I got caught in an explosion.
You mean that explosion at the department store that just happened earlier today?
Yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, I made it out. Some people didn't, though. It's really sad.
Oh my gosh, she says as she holds up a hand to her face. She said, I knew that the Jennies here were running around really busy, but I didn't realize it was as bad as it was.
Yeah, basically there was I had something I need to buy at the mart, and I don't know, something in the storeroom just exploded.
Something in the storeroom, you say? She sort of like uses her hand towards Tim's direction. Tim, her Rotom. The laptop goes flying in front of her, and she starts typing a bit. And then she sort of looks around as she's typing. She presses a few buttons. Huh. Oh, look, there you are, she says. Are you gonna go see look at what she's looking at?
Molly has an idea, but she's gonna kind of go around and see.
You go around and look over her shoulder, and yeah, sure enough, you see yourself on camera, surveillance camera, entering into the department store building, like from the front, after a bullet dropped you off.
Yeah, so Molly's gonna, her head's gonna drop. Okay, so I didn't really go there to buy something.
She says, "Oh no, I wasn't questioning what you were doing." She says, "I was just trying to figure out what might have happened over there." She does a little bit more typing around, and you don't understand half the thing that she's typing in. But Madison seems like she's really good with the computer. And clearly she's hacking her way like into the security systems around the entire department, the entire building. But then she sort of like shakes her head. Doesn't look like there are any cameras near the department store though. Oh wait, what is this? She like looks at the she pauses for a second, and she sees these little shadowy figures walking by one of the cameras on one of the other floors of the building, which they're like little lightly lit figures. There's like about 3 or 4 or 5 of them running across the screen. Well, that's a little weird. That's something you don't see every day.
Yeah, there were these little litwicks running all over the place.
Litwicks? You think they had something to do with the fire?
Maybe, I don't know, but they were helping take the Pokémon out.
Huh. Really weird.
And it was actually thanks to them that I was able to get out, because I kind of followed their lights.
She thinks about this for a moment, but she doesn't seem to come up with anything. Huh. Well, I don't seem to find anything really odd other than that. A lot of the cameras stopped working when the explosion happened, it looked like.
In her mind, Molly's thinking, okay, I'm not sure if that's a good or bad thing, though. So she to kind of change the subject, Molly turns to Rotim and she says, "So Rotim, can you turn into a camera or a cell phone, or what about an air conditioner? Can you do that too?"
Rotim starts making these beeping sounds, which is how he communicates, and he does the beeping sounds not from him personally, but through the actual laptop itself. Like he makes the laptop making beeping sounds.
All right.
And Madison will translate and says, "Tim says that he pretty much can occupy any electrical appliance. Anything with electricity.
So Molly starts kind of naming off all these different things. Okay, so an electric toothbrush, a hair dryer.
In theory, yeah, he could. But he really likes my laptop the best. He feels the most at home. I think it's because he likes watching the YouTubes.
Well, it passes the time, doesn't it, Rotim?
She said there's actually this Let's Player that he really likes to watch named Giz Restar.
Really? I think I've seen him.
Yeah, he's okay. Madison
He's the one.
says.
He's the one who does the "Hey guys," isn't that?
Yes, and the whole cue outro go thing. Yeah.
Oh, that guy's really cool.
Why do you ask?
I don't know. I guess I've just been curious ever since I first met you and Rotim. I've been wondering, are there any limits for Rotom?
I actually haven't really done much experimenting with Tim. He just pretty much gets himself into whatever it is he wants, as long as he keeps out of trouble. Isn't that right, Timmy? She says as she sort of pets the laptop. Who knows?
Yeah. Imagine if he got into one of those giant screens at a sports game or something.
Oh, that actually sounds like a really fun idea, doesn't it, Tim? And Tim, starts beeping again excitedly.
Give it a try. Maybe you'll show up on YouTube.
Says, well, I'm trying to keep a low profile. I'm trying to make good with the people back back where we came from. So I'm trying really hard to keep out of trouble as much as possible. Though I admit this whole mystery about the explosion does kind of pique my interest. I'm kind of wondering if I can poke around a little bit more. I don't really trust any of the cops to do much personally.
So Molly's gonna lean in a little bit and she'll say, "Hey Madison, if you find anything while poking around, could you let me know?"
Sure, she says. I don't think I have your updated phone number. Here, I'll text you mine. And she takes out her phone and she takes out her phone and she hands it to you so you can put in your phone number so she can text you.
Mm-hmm. So Molly will get the text message and she'll put in Madison's name, but she spells it with a Madison.
Okay.
And by the way,
Madison. Okay.
Yeah, and Cassie's name is spelled Kassy.
Okay. And she takes her phone and says, "Oh," she says, and I think she'll just adjust it. "My name begins with an M."
I knew that. I must have just misclicked.
Huh, it's all right. She says it's all right. And so she then puts her phone away and says, "Well, let me know if there's anything I can do to help while you're here. I'm assuming that you're here because, well, you're trying to get some care over at the hospital next door. Just look me up anytime. I normally do the
Sure.
night shifts here."
That's good to know. Could I maybe borrow some money for one of those breakfast burritos?
"Are you a little short on cash?" "Sure, I think I can spare you a couple dollars." She pulls into her pocket and she pulls out like 3 Pokebucks. "Here, this is the change that I've got for today."
So Molly takes it and she says, "Okay, thank you very much. This will help me a lot."
She nods. "It's really good to see you, Molly. Glad to see that you're doing okay, all things considered. Don't be a stranger."
Molly will say hi to everyone. I mean, if you're still in contact with them.
"A few. Many of them kind of just fell off the map. I think they all trying to start afresh. Start anew, you know?"
I know what that's like.
She chuckles a bit. "Well, if you ever want to talk about it, I'm here. Things, back then they had their moments."
It was a good time. I will say that.
"You were a lot quieter back then, I have to say. Bullets seem to make you be a little bit more outgoing."
Well, I still have my moments when I need to run away and just hide in a room for a while. But anyway, it's nice seeing you.
Nice seeing you too. Well, have a good night. She'll smile and she'll leave. She'll exit.
Okay.
Okay, Shay. Let's go back to the museum, shall we?
Okay.
So we're gonna take it immediately after you realize that you started to put 2 and 2 together that Kyle and Jet Black are the same person. I think you had just finished telling Mr. Jet Black everything that you knew. So if you don't say anything, he's probably just gonna pack up and leave.
Chase will. He had his hood down, so Chase it's starting to come back to him. He's starting to picture a sandbox. He starts to zip up his hoodie very slowly until it gets to his chin, and he says, "You know, it's getting kind of cold out here. Let me ask you again. What's your name there? I missed it on your card. I didn't take it."
Kyle Jenny, he says.
Kyle Jenny.
Jenny.
I have trouble remembering names. Sorry. Are you a good cop?
He looks a little surprised by that question. I guess it depends on what you mean by it. He scratches his nose a little bit and he says, "I guess it depends on what you mean by a good cop."
Do you help people who need helping? Or do you pretend to help people?
I'd like to think that I help people to help people. That's why I decided to join the force. As you can probably tell, it took a lot of more extra effort for me to get into the force, so hopefully that in of itself shows that I really wanted this job.
Okay, so sorry for holding you up here. I don't want to take up too much of your time. And Chase starts looking on the ground. He's looking for something, and he doesn't quite know what he's looking for, but he's trying to spot patterns in the stones. He's trying to see spiral formations or something. He can't seem to find them, so he's getting confused and flustered. And he approaches Kyle, pretty close, and he says, "I don't think you should be here."
Now, how are you saying that? Are you saying that in a threatening way? Are you saying that in a warning kind of way?
Like a monotone way.
Okay.
There's probably some confusion in his voice right now. He has zipped up just under his lip. At this point, he's almost zipped up his hoodie all the way to cover his face.
When you say that, I think that Kyle's voice lowers a little bit, and he gets a more serious tone, and he says, "I beg your pardon?"
Just something doesn't seem right, and I want to help you with whatever you need help with, but I have trouble trusting people, especially people who I believe are pretending to be someone that they're not. And I'm sorry, what's your number?
He'll verbally, he'll take his card and it says, "I thought you said you knew my number." He will say, "The card is my direct line. It's a direct line to me."
And Chase is he's counting from 1 to 13 repeatedly in his mind. He's like, "All right, thank you for your time. Sorry for the confusion." And he gets a little bit flustered, and he's like, "I will, if I find anything else out, I'll come and see you. Right now it's getting late. And the night is my playground." And
Kyle is definitely studying you. Well, first of all, Kyle has been studying you this entire time. You mention the night is my playground. No change in his expression. He doesn't react to it at all. And he'll say to you as you turn around, Have a good evening, Mr. Rhodes. And with that, he will go into his vehicle and he will drive away.
And Chase will pick up a stone from the ground and put it in his pocket.
Okay. Cassie and Noir, you are making your way back to your apartment.
She'll probably be like going, Remy, you're my hero. You did the thing. Like she'll be very happy.
I can picture her bouncing around him. Like,
And Remy will pick up just a piece of like a stick he finds in the corner, just to chew on while walking home. And yeah, he'll ask, so how much time do you spend around your boss here?
I'm with you right now. What's the time?
And how long have you known your boss?
Don't you know that? You're the boss.
So who is that person? And he points with the stick at Cassie. At Cassie.
Oh, she's my family.
I thought we were all bosses for you. So I'm just your boss because I make the rules?
Mhm.
Does Cassie make any rules?
She makes suggestions.
So it's a partnership.
I think so.
So you can do whatever you want. I'm going to come back to this.
Well, as long as I'm not naughty, but I don't really like being naughty.
You don't have to be naughty when you... I mean, okay, let me reverse a little bit. When you're... See, when... And he points with his stick again. When they let us go and let us do whatever we want, they think they're doing us a favor. You see, freedom isn't something that's given. Freedom is something that's taken. Do you understand what that means?
I thought you earn freedom. Like you work hard and you put work hard, you have extra free time.
Well, that's earning freedom is not... That's someone giving you freedom. You understand no one can give you freedom. You have to just take it. You have to be free.
Okay.
You can't follow rules all the time, especially when they're controlling us. Next thing you know, you're going to be in some arena. You're going to be fighting. You're going to be taking hits for the team. Do you want to just get beat up by other Pokemon? Or do you want to control what fights you're in?
I don't think Cassie would force me to fight.
Are you sure? Stresses the R.
100%. Does your owner force you to fight?
That's why I'm asking how long you've known your partner. You've never been asked to fight for your partner?
I can't remember if... Don't think so. I've known Cassie all my life. Ever since I hatched.
All right. Just remember, free will.
Okay.
And hopefully that's made her confused enough to stop bouncing around him and like...
Yeah, she's just like thinking very hard with her head tilted to one side, just going, what?
and in the meantime, I imagine Cassie's just walking, like hands clasped behind her head, watching the sky a little bit. So unless Noir talks to her, she probably won't say much throughout the walk. It's just the time to think.
Noir's probably as quiet. Like, seems lost in her own thoughts.
They both just hear the yipping. Bouncing around. Oh, they're playing.
Remy flicking the stick around now and then.
The two of you will arrive back at the apartment. Cassie will go back to her room. And when she gets to her room, she will notice, I mean, it's always been there, but I think her eyes will at least land on the magic ball on her desk. You refer to it as a magic 8-ball. I kind of see it as a magic Pokeball, where you shake it and then you ask a question. Like a magic 8-ball where you
Yeah.
shake it and you turn it over and it gives you like a yes, no, maybe answer. But yeah, that's on your on the desk.
All right. Well, then after closing the door, she'll hesitate a moment and look back at the magic Pokeball, I guess. And then just, let out a slow breath. She'll walk over to it, take a seat on the bed, and just lie back, with it above her. She'll close her eyes and, mumble to herself, "Was it Team Rocket responsible?" And she'll just shake it.
She'll shake it, and the response is outlook cloudy. Of course, outlook cloudy.
Yeah. So with another sigh, she'll just kind of like sit it on the bed beside her. And after another, minute of just kind of thinking, staring at the ceiling, she'll pull out her phone and start to send a text to her mom.
Okay. All right. What do you text her?
It'll basically be, "Hey mom, not sure if you heard about the explosion at the department store. Just wanted to let you know I'm fine. Keep an eye out for Team Rocket. They seem to be daring lately."
Okay.
She'll just send that off.
Okay. So you send the text, and then I'm assuming you'll eventually go to sleep?
Yeah.
Okay.
She'll probably just fall asleep there while thinking.
Cassie will fall asleep. And you'll wake up not in your bed at the apartment, but you'll wake up in your bedroom at the Team Rocket hideout. That is where you will wake up, in that bedroom. And everything around you is kind of hazy, it's kind of fuzzy. And we'll say that you wake up, you do your morning routine. You don't even seem to I guess at least at first, you don't really find this out of the ordinary.
Okay.
You're just going through your morning routine just like you normally did back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll say that you just finished getting dressed, you have your back to the door, and a male voice from the door that I don't think you recognize, says, "Excuse me, could you help me, please?"
Well, yeah, she'll perk up and look back to see who it is, first of all.
You perk up and you turn around and you see who it is, and it's a middle-aged man, salt and pepper hair, and he seems to have a very distraught look on his face. And in his hand is a pack of flyers. And he says, "I'm sorry, I'm looking for someone. I was wondering if you know where she might be." And he takes a flyer and then he hands it towards you. "She disappeared a few weeks ago. We haven't had a chance to find her. We haven't had an opportunity to find out where she is. Do you know? Have you seen her?"
Just as her eyes first land on the flyers, before she's even handed one, her heart skips a beat and she feels her blood running cold, and her heart will start beating faster as it's actually placed in her hands and she looks at the picture. And I assume, especially at this point, she recognizes the girl from the front, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she'll just stare at it for a few seconds and grind her jaw before looking back up at him and, offering just a quick, little more curt than she had intended, shake of her head, say, "Sorry, I don't know anything."
He frowns a little bit, and he takes the papers and he turns around and he's about to leave your door, but then he turns back towards you and he says, "My wife and I," Irene is my wife's name, "we wanted to have children for a very long time. We tried for many years, and it just didn't take, and we didn't have enough money to assist with the process, you see. But one day, one very miraculous day, we found out that we were pregnant. We had a son, Dylan Ray Jr. I loved him so much. I remember that when he would be outside and he would be playing with some of the school kids, and it reminded me of myself when I was his age. He loved Pokémon very much. And he was always wanted to become a trainer himself and actually go to the Pokémon leagues. Something that I tried doing when I was around 12 years of age. I didn't really get past the 3rd gym myself. When he was 8, he visited a friend's house. His friend had just turned 10. That friend offered to give him a ride on his Pidgeotto. It was only supposed to be a quick ride. Turns out his friend had a fake trainer's license. He didn't actually earn one. His parents didn't even know that he had it. During their ascent, neither of them saw the other trainer crossing their path above. They collided, and my son fell 100 feet to the ground. Our family was shattered that day. And for many years we mourned the loss of our son. And we kept going back and forth on whether or not we would try again. Try to become parents again. Finally, as a stroke of luck, we decided that to take a look at foster care. Just to ease ourselves in. We didn't want to jump into adoption right away. We just wanted to help other children find good homes for themselves. And that's where Molly, this girl, right here, that's when she came into our lives. I don't think we ever told her really how much we really appreciated having her there. It's like we got reborn, second chance. When she disappeared, it's like we lost our son all over again, you know? Like I said, we didn't have very much money, and we tried everything that we could to find her. And I worked, my wife Irene worked 2 jobs to earn some extra money, and we used it to purchase a Fanpy. One that had an incredible sense of smell. I thought this would be our chance, this would be our ray of hope. Ray, our last name. When we took Molly in, they gave her the name Molly Moon. And we thought that, well, if we earned her confidence and trust, if she was destined to be part of our family, then we thought maybe if we adopted her that she would become Molly Moon, from Molly Moon to our ray of sunshine. And I kept holding on to that thought. We wanted to get our second chance back. And you took that away from us.
Well, at that, she would definitely tense up. Throughout the entire story, her anxiety is just mounting. But once, that accusation came, her fist just clenched around the flyer. She trembled a little bit and said, I already told you, I don't know anything. But from the shakiness in her voice, and since he already seemed to know, he really knew.
Okay. You don't have to convince me. Looks like you've already convinced yourself. And the vision fades away, and you'll wake up from your sleep. And it is dawn.
All right.
Noir, you also did not have a good night's sleep yourself.
Yeah.
You had a nightmare last night as well. Could you please describe whatever you are willing to reveal about your dream, however much detail you want to reveal about your nightmare?
Okay. 1 second during the night, during the dream, she would be standing at the toy store, and then suddenly she'll be forced back as the ground trembles beneath her. That kind of is like overlaid with a different image of her being forced back from an exploding device of some form. She lands on the ground, and as she gets up, she's no longer on the ground, she's running. The world around her is on fire. There's destruction everywhere. There's statues of people, their life completely drained from them. She keeps running. She has to get there. She has to go home. She has to find out if they're okay. They had to be okay. She gets home. Everything's not okay. She picks up the toilet. Her little shiny umber on. There's no life. She goes further in, just hoping just one person. Please just be okay. No one's okay. She cradles Fabian in her arms, just looking at him, wishing things would be different. They're not. She hears footsteps coming. She just wants them to go away. She wants everything to just go away. The world starts to shake and objects start flying around. She hears gasps of pain as people rush in and bowl. She feels blood tickle down her wrist. And she looks down and goes, what? And then she slowly starts to lose consciousness as a face comes towards her and goes, I didn't know it would be this bad. I'm sorry. Again, she awakes, on fire also surrounding her. There's bodies everywhere. She goes, huh? She feels something on her face. She rips it off. She looks as the helmet flies on the ground bouncing. And she's terrified. She's surrounded by these faces, so many faces. Wounds all over them, fire everywhere. She doesn't understand. How did she get here? What happened? What's going on? But then she looks at the helmet again. She sees her face reflected in it. And she screams. Suddenly she's on the table, strapped down. She can't move. Why can't she move? She sees a face over her. Doctor? Dr. Perrault? The doctor looks down at her. Don't worry. Your discrepancies will be no matter. I'll make sure that you'll still be of use to this organization. This masterpiece will ensure that you're compliant. It's for the best. Trust me. Like, pets her head, and she shivers. This man she once trusted has betrayed her. She doesn't want to be its puppet. She tries to scream, but she can't. As the man drags her towards this suit of some form, the helmet, screams out, "Hello? Can anyone help me? Please! Can someone save me? Please! Help me!" She starts to shake. And that's much as I want to reveal.
Okay.
But imagine the outside world around her is chaotic at the moment.
Noir, you will wake up with a stir. There's perspiration running down your face. And not that you... Well, no, that's not true. You and Cassie actually woke up in your respected bedrooms at the exact same time. And you feel each other somehow, as if you kind of knew, both of you kind of felt that you just woke up from something disturbing at the exact same time. Somehow you felt that connection. What do either of you do in your respected bedrooms once you both have woken up?
Well, I know Cassie, first of all, likewise, covered in sweat at this point, would, quickly sit up and is working to catch her breath and looks around to make sure that she is in her room, that she is, dressed as she last remembered, that things aren't the way, they just were.
Do you allow Fern to sleep on your bed? Where would you have Fern sleep, is my question.
Yeah, I could see Fern often being at the foot of the bed.
How about Remy? Where does Remy typically sleep? I feel like I should ask Shay that. Yeah, I feel like I should ask Shay where Remy sleeps.
Let me interrupt. No, not on the bed.
Not on the bed.
Noir probably puts him there once in a while, but he might stay there half an hour and then he just jumps off and curls up in the corner.
Okay.
Probably by the door with the eyesight to the door.
I'll probably say that both Fern and Remy may have already woken up, probably shortly before their trainers wake up. So if you guys want to do anything in the scene, seeing your trainers wake up from an obvious nightmare, you probably may have noticed that your trainers were tossing and turning. In fact, if you feel inclined to approach your trainer while they're tossing and turning, that is up to your discretion. So.
Yeah, I'll go first. So I think Remy, as soon as he can sense that there's obviously a nightmare going off, she like Noir is definitely uncomfortable about something, he will shock awake because he knows that she's sort of dangerous at the end of the day. So the last thing he wants is for this room to turn into a cyclone around him. So he's both from a self-preservation perspective, he's got where is the door open? I might need to get out of here. But then he does turn around and notices Noir doesn't come out of the sleep, and he will cautiously approach. He'll jump up on the cabinet or something. He won't jump up on the bed right now. He's still a little bit nervous about what's going on, and he'll approach her and start just making small noises to just try to get her out of it, but he doesn't want to make any loud noises because he doesn't want a random her shocking awake and doing something that she can't control. But he will try to get her attention, and yeah.
How about Fern?
Fern will probably rush up to Cassie if she's tossing and turning and go, wake up, just tapping her.
All right. So Cassie, you will wake up, and as you're looking around, you do notice the Alolan Vulpix looking up at you, concerned, probably, with a concerned look on its face.
Is that accurate? Does she look concerned?
She looks very worried. Her eyes are wide and she's like, Cassie! And,
So
runs up,
when Cassie woke up, she did shoot up, propping herself up slightly. But then after, seeing the room and then, seeing her Vulpix, she's still panting a little bit, just Fern, hey girl, and just kind of like, she'll wrap her arms around Fern and just lie back again, and head falls back in the pillow and she closes her eyes and just kind of like stroking her Vulpix and just, uttering little, it's all right, we're fine, just little mutterings like that.
Ben will snuggle up to you and like try and comfort you.
Well, the pettings continue. She does seem to appreciate that a little bit, though her mind is clearly, elsewhere at the moment.
Okay. How about Remy and Noir?
Remy will finally cautiously step on the bed, and then he will walk up on Noir's chest and just do a jump. Just
No, we wake up.
a quick little bark, just a
Yeah.
just get up.
Yeah. Get up, woman. Make me breakfast.
It's all right. Oh, wait, no. Sorry, Remy. It's she'll pet him and go. I'm fine. I'll just. She'll like slowly get out of bed. It's like, well, looks like an early start in the morning.
He rubs up against her and then jumps off the bed again and goes by the door.
Yeah, she'll open the door and like shuffle out there and start making coffee and stuff. She's probably
Remy-
shaking a little bit.
Yeah, as soon as you
She'll try
open
and hide it.
As soon as the door opens, I just want to say Remy wants to like before it's even like just slightly ajar. He wants to get out of the room real quick, and he starts looking around just to make sure that no, not ajar, Riz, leave it alone. Okay, it's not a. I know what you're thinking. So yeah, and then he just checks out the room, just make sure everything's still in its place, and looks at Cassie's bedroom and her brother just to make sure everyone's okay.
What I was gonna say is that before you get to the making the coffee part, Noir, when you open the door, Fabian in his pajamas is actually standing right in front of the door as if he was literally about to rap at it or knock at it. But he looks up at you when you swing open the door in front of him. He kind of just stares at you.
She smiles and goes, "Oh, Fabian, you're up. You hungry? You want something to eat?"
Fabian's expression doesn't break. He sort of like has a distant look on his face. He's looking at you, but it's almost like he's looking through you, past you, with his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't say anything right away, which I guess is not that unusual for him. Because sometimes, like, you'll say something and it seems like he didn't hear what you said. Do you repeat yourself?
Fabian, is something wrong? Everything okay?
Fabian responds by saying,
I don't think you should be here.
completely mimicking the exact same thing Chase said to Jet Black the night before, FYI.
What?
Fabian shakes something off as if like he was in a semi-trance, and then he says, "I'm hungry."
Yeah, I can get you something to eat. No problem. Just follow me. Let's go. You want some honey cakes? Let's have some honey cakes. That's a great idea.
His eyes actually light up when you say honey cakes, and then he'll nod very, very quickly. Before we continue, I want to get back to Tiffany again. You're up working on the costume all night. So would you have dozed off working on the costume? Do you think you would eventually
Probably,
fall?
yeah, to the point of exhaustion of,
Okay.
I've passed out with my hand sore, and hopefully you will take it out of my hands.
You'll probably wake up because you were working really late, so you probably wake up a little late with a rapping at your door. Housekeeping.
Right. No, I'm good. Pushes up a floor. Oh, not good. I still have contact lenses in. Not good, not good.
Okay, so you tell the housekeeping person that you're
Yeah.
that you're good. So the housekeeping woman will nod, and she will leave and push her cart with all the towels to the next room over. How about you? What is you doing this morning?
Ooh was asleep in the bathtub the whole night.
Oh.
Okay, nice.
And I imagine that Ooh kind of loses his shape while he sleeps, so he just kind of fills the bottom of the tub with
That's
himself.
cool.
He has a
And then
kiddie pool at home.
There is a lovely ring in the tub, a lovely large ring around the tub right now, which I'm sure housekeeping is gonna love when they come in there.
I imagine Tiffany checked hotels for which ones are friendly for my type.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Ooh's just kind of still asleep.
What do you do, Tiffany?
Gets up. First off, let's get the day-old contacts out because that's not good. They need moisture.
Mm-hmm.
Puts them away in their case. Takes out normal reading glasses. Catches herself in the reflection. Ugh, hate these. Looks over at Ooh. Okay, he's still sleeping. Everything looks normal.
Yep, everything looks normal. At some point, I will say that as you're getting ready, you'll see that a newspaper was pushed under your door, like a complimentary newspaper. It's the Almia Times.
Ah.